Well, Robert Halfon was Skills Minister until yesterday. He's written about the need for the Conservative Party to reform, though. Very good evening to you. What do you think went wrong in the campaign?
Well, I think that we have a big problem in terms of our message, our values, in expressing them to the public. I think we have a big problem in lack of membership. And we also have a big problem in terms of our infrastructure. We didn't get our message across about what we stand for. We're the party of the ladder, the party of aspiration and opportunity. We give people the chance to climb that ladder to get the security and prosperity they need. But none of that was got across, and we frightened pensioners, we frightened people about school meals. And so we just didn't get the core Conservative message across.
So you want the party to be a kind of more clear about it's the party for workers and for the working people of Britain. Is the problem that it just didn't get the message across, or does the actual offer need to be refined? Is it the PR that was wrong, or the reality?
I think it is both. I think we need a fundamental rebranding. That's why I'm suggesting that we actually change our name to the Workers' Party or the Conservative Workers' Party. But it can't just be a rebranding, it can't just be a slogan. I mean, the Prime Minister said we were the Workers' Party at the party conference, but we've got to make it mean something. And I think that we have to actually build our policies based on 5 pillars. We should be a real modern trade union movement for the British people. 5 pillars of workers' rights, workers' jobs and skills, workers' wages, workers' welfare and workers' services.
Have you thought of joining the Labour Party, Robert? Because they aspire to all of those things, I think. That's what they're for. They've actually got Labour in the title as opposed to workers, but it's more or less the same.
The problem with the Labour Party is they want to do everything from the top down. The Conservative Party, as I believe, and I believe that our symbol should be a ladder, not the tree that you have up on the screen there. We are the party of the ladder. If you are poor, we will bring you to that ladder. So the government is there to bring you and hold the ladder to get you out of poverty and into work. If you're a young person, we'll offer you an apprenticeship so you can earn while you learn. We give you a degree apprenticeship, no loan. You get a degree, you get an apprenticeship, you earn while you learn, you get a job at the end of it.
But my question about joining Labour, though, is a serious one, because I think some would call you a red Tory, and then there are people in Labour who they call blue Labour, who kind of have quite a sort of conservative view of the world. You could do a deal with those people, couldn't you? Maurice Glassman, I know many people won't have heard of him, but he's the kind of blue Labour thinker in the party. Well, you could do a deal. You could come up with a platform neither of you would.
Well, of course, there are overlapping views in parties, and there are 1 or 2 people in the Labour Party I have huge respect for, Maurice Glassman, Frank Field, and so on. But that is not the whole of the Labour Party, especially the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn. They believe everything from the top down. They believe in unfunded spending commitments. I think that, as I say, we need to be a party of workers, but build it on those 5 pillars of, as I described.
But I mean, renaming the Conservative Party the Workers' Party or the Conservative Workers' Party, you have as much chance of doing that as you have converting the Labour Party to the ladder principle as you described.
The Prime Minister said at the conference we were the Workers' Party. We're the party that introduced the national living wage. We're the party that cut taxes for lower earners. We're the party that have 900,000 apprenticeships, offering potentially 3 million for millions of people across our country. We are potentially, there is something potential out there that we could be the true Workers' Party of our country, but we need to do a lot more. We have to recognise that public sector workers are as important as private sector workers, for example.
What happens to your party if you don't do that?
Well, I believe, I'm not saying I have the only answer to this, but I've thought about this for a long time. I didn't just say this because I've not been a minister. I've written about it months ago. I've gone around the country talking about this. But I genuinely believe we face potential calamity as a party because people do not understand our values. They see us just in terms of austerity. We fail to get our message about being the party of the ladder of opportunity across, and we fail to get a message that we are also the party for the poor. Because when the Labour Party knock on a door, everybody knows that they are there for the underdog. They may disagree with how they do it, but their message is very clear. Ours is not.
But Theresa May started out with a lot of this back on the steps of Downing Street when she became Prime Minister 11 months ago. It hasn't happened, has it? And I mean, either they're not listening to you, or she's not capable of delivering this kind of vision, or something is going wrong, clearly, isn't it?
Well, I was incredibly excited when the Prime Minister made that speech, the first speech she ever gave as Prime Minister outside the steps of Downing Street. I thought potentially something was really big was happening. For one reason or another, some of this, not all of it, but some of it has got lost. And I think that the election has given us a clear lesson in this, and that's why we have to reboot, that's why we have to rebrand, but there has to be substance, as I say, a real basing all our policies around these 5 pillars of what I call a workers' charter.
And do you think Theresa May, a sort of rather weakened Theresa May, can do that?
Well, to be honest, whether it was the Archangel Gabriel or Alexander the Great as leader, unless we make the fundamental reform of reforming our party, rebranding our party, and actually it doesn't matter who the leader is, what it is about policies. And we have to get those policies right, and the values right, and the narrative right, in order to reach out to the British people.
Robert Halfon, thanks very much indeed.